everybody, Jack here from FULLALT. Just wanted to relay that I had a nice little chat with at Nathan Mars, Nathan Mars, the man himself. Many of you have heard of him, many haven't. He's very active on Twitter, and he's going out and having chit chats. We could say interviews, but just having very casual little conversations with people on Hive and promoting them on Twitter. Not the people, but promoting the actual conversations and the information that's being relayed, adding to the actual community relations side of things, the networking. He's really stressing out trying to get people to network, which is excellent. That's fantastic. Just yesterday, we had a nice little chat, and you can either go to my profile, Jack Miller Oz, or to Nathan Mars, Nathan Mars 7, and find the actual tweet there. I'll put a link to the tweet in the description below the video. Now, note, this was a conversation between myself and himself, two men talking, having our little chit chat and so on, two business people talking, I guess, whatever you want to call us. I don't know what the right terms are today, but you get the gist. So anything that I've expressed is my own personal opinion. It's not the opinion of the company. It's not the opinion of the team at FULLALT. But at the same time, I am a member of that team. And I guess that when I do talk about the company, when I do talk about the endeavor itself, FULLALT, I'm talking about the goals, the visions, the ideas that we have, the whole long-term project. And although I am stressing the fact that in this conversation here, it was just the two of us, and that if something I said was not necessarily in line with what another member of the team may or may not agree with, that's an individual thing. It's not something about the team as a whole. We are all individuals, and that's what I'm trying to stress, is that even though we're all different and we're all unique, we're working together. It's called teamwork. And this is a little chat where I actually was reminded of that when Nathan Mars was talking about networking, getting people to interact with each other, and what his goal is, what his goal was in the past, and what his goal is now. So I'm really, happy to have had that chat, because it got me thinking about a number of things, and here it is. So he's a version or copy, whatever you want to call it, of that, stream, of that chat, that live stream. So yeah, all the links are in the description. Hope you enjoy. And if I said something that was a little naughty or anything like that, don't hold it against me. I am who I am, and I am what I am. Nobody fixed me. My wife hasn't fixed me in over 20 years. I don't think anybody else will. You all have a good one. Hope you enjoy.
Hey, Jack. I don't know whether you can join me. I was waiting for Jack to join me. Hello. Finally, we are here. Thank you so much, Jack, for joining from Australia. Good day. So I won't keep you long. I know you asked me to, let's do it on Discord, and I asked you to come on. So I appreciate you coming on the show just to give me the time to get to know you and ask some specific question about Hive and your journey. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure, mate.
Okay. So it will be a 5 question, and it's more like a conversation. And also you have the opportunity to ask any question for me as well. So first question is, could you tell me how did you got started with Steam or Hive in the first place? Who introduced you, or did you discover by yourself? Could you tell me a bit more about that?
It was really just getting away from all the social media that was out there. Like, one of them was actually Twitter. I was on there too much, and then searching out, looking around, and doing some homework on what's available.
Yeah.
And came across Steam, and that was the first interaction with blogging first of all, and second of all with classic blogging, and second of all with blockchain tech, with the idea of
Yeah.
actually blockchain technology.
Yeah. And when was this?
In the actual searching around started early 2017,
Yep.
but it was about March, April-ish time frame when it was about March, April 2017 when I came across Steam, but I didn't, to be honest, I thought it was a scam.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Signed up and gave it a go and started meeting people, started talking with people, started doing a bit more homework because there was more information coming my way directly. So it was,
Yeah, that's true. And so I forgot to ask you an introduction from you because somebody might watch this video again when I put in my blog. Why don't you give me a brief introduction about you and what you into kind of thing?
Currently I'm working with a team of guys, and we've called the endeavor
Yeah.
FULLALT,
Yep.
the name of the company and all.
Yep.
So we're looking at building tools and applications which are going to be useful for Hive,
Yep.
basically.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
not all of them are profit based. That's the way it works. But
Yeah.
we're not looking at profit only. We're looking at actually building up a user base and
Yep.
making the user experience a lot better on Hive. Because everybody's different. That's one thing we got to remember. Not everybody's a blogger. Not everybody's a gamer. So we have to adapt and make the user experience flexible, and I'm not sure if user friendly is the right term, but I guess that's a term we could use for make the applications a lot more user friendly
Yeah.
for the average user,
Yep.
and then have the users choose themselves which way they wish to go.
Yeah. And one of the tools that you're building is the Hive Tips. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, that's one of the tools that we're building, working on right now.
Yeah.
Working good on Twitter, where it's working good on Hive blog, and it's working good on Peak D.
Yeah.
And the
And
direct
I think
tips are
yeah,
on
I
YouTube.
got
We're working on YouTube.
Yeah, I got some tips from a couple of Hive community members through Hive tips, and all it asked me to put my Hive username to respond to the tweet, and I immediately went to my Hive wallet, and I could see that amount of Hive token was there. So it was worked perfectly and smoothly, and obviously you guys will improve this experience and make it easier and develop more. And I can't wait to see, I can't wait to see your project coming to people using it, and 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 so since you've been with our community, and do you have any memorable moments or anything that something that you really remember until now, some specific specific thing that happened that made you a good memory for you?
Well, it's a good memory now, but it was not so good at the time. It was like learning about blogging
Yeah,
and the unwritten rules about blogging and so on. It's not Twitter. It's not micro blogging. No, it's
yeah,
not. It's not
yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
where you're just chatting away and writing stuff. No, it's blogging. So I say that I learned the hard way, but yeah, it was fun.
yeah. And I remember you used to live in Croatia in Europe, and I
I'm
remember
still there. I'm still
it's
here.
a, okay, okay, okay. That's why it's 1 hour difference. Okay, so you are planning to go back to Australia, or you are not
Oh yeah,
sure
the
yet?
family the family's already there, and we sold one property off here. There's another property that I'm selling off right now, and as soon as that's gone, I'm back.
Okay, so I
Uh,
might come and see you in Croatia. I don't
you
live far
never know.
away.
Yeah.
I don't live far away. And so the next question is based about because I took a long break from our community, and it's something to do with my internal issues that I kind of gave everything to Steam, and I was not in a good place, and I kind of started blaming others for my own failure, and So I took a break, time to reflect on my internal issues, and I come back, and I'm super excited to build something with Hive. And one of the main thing I'm focusing on is developing community and making sure people connecting and rebuilding the trust, and also making a strong presence on Twitter to make sure that we get the word out and people join us, and especially looking for investors and looking for different kind of project where we can mutually benefit their community and our community. And it's a kind of long-term value creation for our protocol as a whole. One of the goal is a short-term goal is in a financial term is to push the price of a Hive token to $1 in the coming months. Do you have any suggestion or any idea where we should focus to make that $1 Hive happen soon as possible? I'm just trying to get some feedback from people. I know we need to improve our token economics, and we need to make a demand for Hive token from outside of our Hive ecosystem. What can you tell us about how we can make this happen? You share your own ideas, and everyone have different ideas.
Yeah, I can cut that right off right now because, to be honest, I'm so past the actual crypto value pricing scene, trading scene. I'm so past looking at the blogging. I'm
Yeah.
looking, for example, you mentioned Hive tips earlier.
Yep.
The goal there, okay, I'm going to say something which can be interpreted a little naughty, but
Yep.
the first experience is always remembered forever.
Yep.
The first time that somebody gets introduced to crypto,
Yep.
and if it's Hive, they'll always have a soft spot for Hive, won't they? And basically, if we can introduce tools for the X amount of millions of people online who are not into crypto, and have them find out about Hive and
Yep.
use a username just like yours or mine, at Nathan Mars, at Jack Miller,
Yep.
at Joe Blow, at Doodle Dandy, it doesn't matter what it is, instead of having a 30 letter long or whatever it is, 6-line long key plus that and encrypted this, encrypted. No, just make it as simple as possible. Make it, the customer is always right. If the customer wants a simple username, then give the customer a simple username. And Hive offers that. If we're talking about financial transactions, Hive offers exactly what the customer needs. Instant transactions, no fees, which is amazing. And I say instant meaning less than 3 seconds, of course, but the clause, as we like to say. But so we've got everything that we need to offer. As far as the price goes, look, demand, it's an open market. It can go up and down. It can be manipulated as much as. But if we make the market diverse, meaning if we build the actual if we disperse Hive around the world in a way that diversifies it, the manipulation of it is going to be very hard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about whether Hive's worth 30 cents come Monday or whether it's worth $30 come Monday. We'd all like to see it worth $30, but I'm not stressing out over it. I'd rather, and if I did have Hive now, I'd reinvest it back into the additional tools, into the coders, into actual graphics, into design work, and more so coding than anything else, for the tools that will bring more people on board. And I'm not talking about more people mass adoption. I'm talking about more people actually start accepting crypto, understanding crypto, and actually start utilizing crypto. Because we're getting to a situation where crypto will be needed.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I agree. Definitely, I agree with the points that you made, because long-term Hive ecosystem have two potential. But one other thing, sometimes I get frustrated with this, with the Steam hostile takeover, and now Steam is become an island with no people, but it has the same value as Hive, and it's not really reflecting what we have been, everyone collectively been building together, and most of the community band moved over, and it's not really reflecting. And so you can see there's a lot of manipulation, and the current price is not the exact value or value creation for society. And obviously, we need to have some kind of business-minded people who can bring investors and or bring some a different kind of project to. I try to fancy maybe we can have a collaboration with different kind of project, and maybe bring some big investors to invest on Hive, and that way that will our all every single person in our community will benefit from us, and we can give more people more reward, and our ecosystem will kind of grow from there. But I agree with everything that you mentioned. But so lastly, it's basically it's a freestyle. And do you want to share anything with our community? Do you want to talk about your project, or do you have any questions for me? It's over to you, Jack. And yeah.
Just that we actually have something that I really like sharing with people when we talk about Hive in general. I like to share with people the idea that we all had a lot of, no, I won't say we all, many of us, most of us, if not all of us, had all these big dreams and ideas. We saw the potential in Steam back, and I'll say 2017 because that's the year when crypto went crazy. We also saw in 2017 was crazy. We saw BTC jump to whatever it was, 20,000. We saw scams, wham bams, thank you ma'am types of scams all over the place. But that was a year that actually ideas started popping up, and then the idea of the sub tokens, or should I say SMTs, popped up. And then in 2018, we still had a lot of dreamers out there with big ideas, and not all ideas are necessarily big as far as the actual concept goes. But every new idea is a big idea because it adds something new to the actual ecosystem. So no matter how small or how big someone may consider something to be, it's huge. Everything that's new and that works and that is long term is a huge addition to the ecosystem. We now are in a position where all those dreams and ideas can be made, can be achieved, but it actually depends on the individual to move forwards and say, okay, we no longer have a dictator called Ned Scott. Just say it outright. We no longer have a centralized body called Steven Incorporated, which falls under a certain country's jurisdiction, and basically it falls under the law of that country. So that was a loophole in the ecosystem of Steam that was abused and used. Ned Scott made his couple of $1 million. I hope he spends it all in no time. Ends up working for $1 instead of just scamming people for $1. So putting all that aside, that's a lesson learned. We now have a decentralized community as far as the actual governance goes. And the more we decentralize the actual dispersion, the ownership, the stake, which is also investment. And you mentioned big investors. I've got nothing against big investors. But before I see one multi-mega millionaire like Justin Sun come in, I'd rather see 100,000 real people who've earned their money working hard, who know how to respect that money because they know what that sweat really entails to get to it, and then invest that money. And I'll say quotation marks risk. It is. The quotation mark is there because there is always a risk in every business. But I'd rather see 100,000 real business people, hard-working people from the middle class, working class, and maybe just above working class, jump in and say, yes, I see a future here. Yes, I see the opportunity to actually invest, work with coders, work with engineers, work with designers, work with other community members on other projects which might not necessarily entail so much the coding side of things, because the actual Hive ecosystem and the actual blockchain itself, the technology there, right now, it's probably one of the most, I won't say the most, but I can't say that with 100% certainty, but it's probably within the first 5 blockchains out there as far as what all it can handle. So it doesn't matter whether you're a private contractor or a tradesman or an actual person that wishes to start up a sales, whether it be online or in real life, makes no difference. The potential is there. The technology is there. And now it just takes teamwork between, like you said, connecting the dots and networking with people. And when we have 100,000 people who have invested between $10 and $100,000 each, then one Justin Sun, he
Yep.
can't do anything. He can't do anything. And I'm saying Justin Sun just as the worst nightmare example, which can happen to any blockchain. That you
Yeah.
get an egoistic dictator who believes in dictatorship / totalitarian rule. He's God. He's everything. Heaven forbid anybody just even frown upon him in any which way. He would hate that person for the rest of his life. He's
Mm.
he's, he's a maniac, and people like that are not welcome anywhere. People
Yeah.
like him, like Ned Scott, they give crypto and the whole crypto scene a very bad name, a very bad image.
Yeah. And I
So
think one other thing I learned is that in my Steam journey is that there's going to be bad actors in anywhere, in business, in family, in friends, anything you do in life. And the moment we blame them or we get angry with them, and it's actually not good for our own health and especially our own mental health. And
true.
other day I was listening to some yogi, and he said, if you drink a poison, you can't expect someone else to die from it. And when I go back to Hive after a long break, and I was a little bit tweeting quite a lot about Justin and DI, because then I thought, you know what? But the best way to do it is let's focus on building, and let's focus on growing our community. Let's focus on developing our technology and building the tools and connecting and contributing to different projects. And in a long term, we are creating value for other people, and people join us, and we will become powerful together. And then the people will ask, oh, who is Justin Sun? They won't remember. So we just need to focus on building. And I don't want to sell anybody to say they don't, because if somebody's doing wrong thing and they need to be told what they're doing is wrong, but we shouldn't let that affect us what we are building together. And I completely respect and I understand where you're coming from, but in my own experience with Steam, and when DLive, this live streaming platform, came to Steam and they left, and I was really really angry, and I was doing like a fuck you video for DLive and everything. Then and even Steam meeting, I kind of bit pissed off with them. They're not really then Ned hired people from outside of the ecosystem, not from inside. And I felt, you should, if you want to grow Steam to grow, you should hire somebody from inside, not from outside. They know what's been happening, and they have a connection with the community and other project. But then I realized that's not the way to go about it, and I just had to have a different approach this time with Hive. Hope that makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah. Look, mate, at the end of the day,
Yep.
you're trying to practice what you preach.
Yep.
We've all learned life is a long path. We learn a
Yep.
lot of things. And when I'm talking about investors, I'm not preaching.
Yep.
I'm actually investing. So I'm doing exactly what I'm suggesting that others should try and do as well.
Yep.
And the more people that actually come in and do and actually invest, and I'm saying hard earned dollars.
Yep.
None of those dollars fell from the sky. So I understand where we are. I
Yep.
believe that there is more opportunity now than what there ever was in the past. And although BTC is not $20,000 and so on and so on, but hang on a second. When was
Yep.
the best time to get into BTC, for example? When it was $20,000 or
No.
when it was $100?
Yeah,
So when's
definitely.
the
Yeah.
best time to get into Hive? Now when it's under a dollar, or when it shoots up to 10 or $50 or $100?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Definitely. I think I agree with everything you're saying, and I just need to make sure that I kind of I want to listen to other people as well, because everyone have different ideas and they want to participate and they want to feel they are heard, and also I'm trying to connect some dots here. Some people are doing different kind of projects or some ideas, and maybe if I can connect them within our ecosystem or from outside, and I'm trying to encourage and inspire other people, and also uh, just focus on what I'm good at. And I think I'm probably good at developing community and building relationship. But I'm not a technology person, so everyone have their own strength, and Hive is an ecosystem that you can do what you're passionate about, and in the long term, it will definitely pay off, and so I'm super happy to be back, Jack, and happy to be connected with you. And thank you for your time. And I know you're busy.
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate everything you do. And if anything I can do for you for your project or anything that you want me to do for you, please DM me. And I already told you. And I wish you all the best, whatever you're doing, and make sure you put your health first as well. Don't work too much. And so enjoy the summer as well. And I see you on the blockchain and see you on Twitter as well. Thanks again for your time, Jack. And
No, thank you, man. You stay safe. Stay high five. Stay healthy. Stay safe.
Yeah,
all right.
thanks, man. Thanks, dude. See you again.
God bless. Out.
God bless. Cheers. Bye.
If you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's always nice to share with a friend.